Okay. All right. So let's, I guess, get started with the, I don't know, dialogue. What's it called? So I mean, nobody's watching, but tell the people, who you are, and maybe like a I guess like Christian Brack. Like, what's it called? Your testimony.
Yeah. Okay. So my name is River. My patron is Saint Paisios, and currently I'm a catechumen. I'm planning to get baptized in about a little over 4 months, and I grew up a Jehovah's Witness, so not anything close to Orthodox Christianity. And I've been attending St. Anthony's Orthodox Church in San Antonio for about almost 10 months. That's my testimony.
Ugh.
It
And what made you choose St. Anthony's?
was just the first one I visited,
You said it
and
was the first one.
huh?
It was the first one, or it wasn't?
It is. It was the first one I visited, um, and it's pretty close to my house. Saint Sophia's is actually the closest to my house, but it's only by a couple miles, so it's not a huge difference.
And so, what made you choose, or what makes you choose St. Anthony's over um, Saint Sophia? Is it the
I
Greek?
love Saint. No, I love Saint Sophia's. I actually just went to the Paracelsus service for the Theotokos,
Last night? Well,
and
or this past Wednesday? Not last night.
the past Wednesday, and nothing made me necessarily choose St. Anthony's over it. I just been going to St. Anthony's for a long time, developed a good relationship with the priest, Father David,
Yeah.
and everybody. But I love St. Sophia's too. I have friends over there. It's nice.
What Yeah, I did a couple before we did our classes at Saint Sophia. I was watching Father David's Wednesday classes on
Yeah.
Zoom. I like Father
Yeah.
David, and we went the Sunday before I got baptized in October. Well, I got baptized November 1st, but that last Sunday, or no, I want to say 2 Sundays before, in October, I guess before Halloween, we went to St. Anthony's just to check it out. But that was my,
Oh, is that the only time you've been?
yeah, that's the only time we've been. We've only been to not St. Sophia twice. And that was St. Anthony's once, and then St. Andrew's in Lockhart.
I was
Uh,
St. Andrews. I haven't been there.
it was nice. I mean, it's smaller.
Yeah.
It's like a, well, yeah, it's a mission church. But it
hmm
was nice. We do visiting other ones because at first we just stuck with the beginning because we were invited, right? We were invited to St. Anthony's, and so I kind of took that as like a sign from God, like, I'm gonna, we were invited here, so this is where we're gonna be. And then also with my wife, I mean, both of us are new to Orthodoxy, but with my wife, it's like extra new, right? I'm the man, so I'm kind of a bit more into the stuff or whatever. So
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to visit other places, but I didn't want to necessarily like drag her other places or make her feel like, you know what I'm saying? Like she
Yeah.
already,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's already new to us getting into Orthodoxy and then having to go to all these different parishes and what's the difference and this and that. I didn't really want to put her through that, so
Uh,
we stuck with Saint Sophia. Um, like I said, because that's where we were invited. Built a relationship there, and then we
hmm
became catechumens, and then I was going to get baptized in a couple weeks, and I was like, before I get baptized, and I'm kind of not stuck here is like a bad word to use, but like before I'm like stuck at one parish
Yeah.
doing communion, because of course I'm gonna be there every Sunday to take communion. I was like, I kind of want to check out a couple parishes, real quick. And so we did St. Anthony's one Sunday, and then yeah, the next Sunday we went to St. Andrews, and we
That's
had
good. You can still visit other parishes
yeah,
after you're baptized.
yeah, no, we probably will. Right now, my wife's, I mean, she's at the home with the baby, like a maternity leave.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, having a child, we'll probably just, having a newborn, we'll probably just stick to Sundays for a little bit because it's a hassle taking the baby out of the house. But I know eventually, yeah, we'll start checking things out. But it was interesting because we actually prefer Saint Sophia,
Uh-huh.
at least when it comes to liturgy.
Yeah.
We like the choir setup
Hmm.
because it seems that the other places it's more choir led and it's more melodic and more musical. But at Saint
Hmm.
Sophia, I'm sure you've been to a liturgy on a Sunday, right? At Saint Sophia.
No, I've just
Uh,
been to the Paraclesis.
okay, but it's a lot. It's more. Well, as far as I know, because it's Byzantine tradition,
Uh-huh.
that it's less melodic and it's more, I want to say, the congregation is more active, um,
Uh-huh.
which we enjoy. So like y'all at St. Anthony's and St. Andrews, y'all sing the creed and the Lord's Prayer. At St. Sophia, we state it, like we say it, and
Yeah.
same with the Lord's Prayer, and we enjoy that. But it was nice visiting the other places, especially like with St. Anthony's and St. Andrews is the same. You There's more like iconography on the walls, or at least like the ceiling, and that's really nice
Hmm.
because Saint Sophia is still growing their iconography, at least like on the ceiling.
Yeah, yeah.
They're more. I want to say they're more like they like seem more traditional. Uh, 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 St. Anthony's. I like that.
Uh-huh.
So I'm excited. As far as I know, this next year, we're supposed to get a lot more iconography, and I'm sure
Yeah.
at the end of it, it'll look more like y'all's, and I'm excited for that. I love
Yeah, I love the churches where it's just full of icons.
especially like the colors and all that, the blues. I enjoy that.
Uh-huh.
Are you? Who are you? Are you like Keanu Reeves? Are you John Wick?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That's funny. I always felt like Fortnite was like for kids, so I never got into it.
Yeah, it is. Oh,
Okay, so what is like your when it comes to orthodoxy? What's like your orthodox hobby? Um,
oh, that was a good last kill. My bad.
Wait, so we won? You and I?
Yeah, we won. Yeah, we won.
We're the last man standing.
Yeah, just like
Boom,
that.
boom. What do we play again or return to lobby?
We'll play again.
Okay.
Yeah. By hobby, what do you mean?
Like one of the guys in the chat, he's into, I think he said Syrian poetry, and
Mm, uh,
recently I've been studying the liturgy, like uh like I've gotten a couple like of the liturgical books and like trying to figure
uh,
out the puzzle of it because it's like a puzzle, right? The
uh,
different hymns and then
yeah,
the festival, the feasts, and how it moves throughout the year. So I'm like trying to kind of really learn it.
that's
Um,
good. Yeah.
so yeah, that's like my hobby, and that's some of the other hobbies. So yeah, what's like your Orthodox hobby?
I would say my Orthodox hobby is just kind of collecting things. I feel like I have a lot more prayer ropes than I need.
I do. I lost mine.
Really?
I really wanted one, but I was like kind of being cheap, and I want to buy one. But I asked for it as my like baptism gift from my godfather,
Yeah.
and he got me one. And then I went to HEB and I lost it, or
Really?
it fell off my arm, and so I got to
Ah,
get
okay.
another
Was
one.
it a little 33 knot?
I think so.
Yeah.
The one that you can only really wrap once, but it still kind of hangs. It's
Yeah.
still pretty loose. Yeah,
I can give you one if I see you. Remind me.
I would not. Yeah, I would not turn that down.
Yeah, I got you.
Uh,
I have more than I need, and I
yeah.
still want to buy some. So
And what makes you, I guess, collect them and
I don't know. I feel like even before I was like fully into like orthodoxy, I kind of just loved like rosaries, and which is kind of interesting to think about since I didn't even come from a Christian background. But I just I love that type of stuff. I love prayer ropes. I love the different styles, the thick wool knotted, the spaced out, the wooden, the beaded.
yeah,
Like I just think they're so beautiful, and it's actually it's something you'll use.
yeah.
So
No,
I don't know. I just always loved them.
I enjoy the what's it called, the discipline in having them.
Yeah,
And it's like wow, this match we're like the opposite. We like freaking last place,
yeah.
but
It's okay.
it's like a good way to like go to sleep, or like you
Yeah.
lay down and like it's like a discipline. And then I was using it when we kneel in the liturgy. I think it's called the epiclesis section.
Mhm.
Um, I would get a few knots in,
Yeah.
and it helps when you start to, because I work at Chili's, right, and there can be a lot of distractions, and so
Yeah, and
it
it brings your
works.
mind back.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can have either one of these two. You take your pick. So this one I got from the monastery, just a really thick, like these aren't acorns, but it's like that type of thing.
What did you say? What
And
coins?
huh?
What did you say? Coins?
No, they're like acorns. It's like
Acorns.
a
Okay.
nut. Yeah, and it has a Byzantine eagle on it. It's really dope. I love this one so much. Or this one, it's a smaller one with the little icons, Christ, and that's a Russian saint who I honestly don't know who it is. And then this one's a crucifixion, Russian saint, cross on it. So whichever one, if I see it, you can have it.
So it's a go. You said there's you have one with a Russian saint and one with the saint you don't know, or that's the same thing.
So there's four icons on it. Three of them have the Theotokos on one side, and on the other it's the Russian saint. And then one of them is the crucifixion, and on the other it's the Russian saint.
Okay, I would.
But it still has like little beads on them. It's a little harder to use, but it's beautiful.
Yeah, I vote. I vote that one. I appreciate it.
You want this one? All right. Remind me if like they're ever planning something, I'll bring it.
Well, I know some. I have to go down to what side of town do you live on?
I live in New Braunfels.
Yo, so do I.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Actually, that's about. Oh, yeah. We talked about it once in the Discord.
I could. I mean, I could probably come get it tonight. To be honest. Um.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I appreciate that. So I'm assuming just like us, you're like can't wait for them to build a church up here, build a parish up
Yeah,
here.
dude. I hope so. That would be great.
I was really hoping. Yeah, I think we talked about it. I was really hoping that the new parish, the St. Joseph, was going to be closer than it is.
Yeah, it's a little farther, but have you been there
No,
to St.
it's hard
Joseph's?
to.
Oh,
Having a newborn, it's hard to. I really just I just go on
yeah.
Sundays, and I went on this past Saturday or last week for confession. But I know
Hmm.
over time, we'll start traveling more. I'm a little to myself. I don't really. I'm not really like what's the move this weekend, bros? I don't really. I'm not.
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of like the old me, like before Christ, before being a Christian. This time around,
Uh huh.
I try to. I'm more. I mean, my old life, like I used to be a promoter, a DJ, so every night I worked with artists. It was go 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 go, right? And girls is
Yeah.
this, and it was that whole thing. So now on this side, and then of course moving into Orthodoxy, I'm a lot more like I like to be at home, especially having a wife, and then she's been pregnant, and then having a child. You try to just um,
Hmm. Yeah, I know
I
what you
try to
mean.
stay on more on the chill side of things. And not to say that linking up with the bros or having some family fun is nothing wrong with that. It's just not. It's kind of like it starts for me. It's kind of starts moving in the direction of my old life, if that makes sense. And
Yeah.
so I'm trying to like avoid that direction. You know what I'm saying? Because even
Hmm.
though because not that the other ortho bros are like bad influences, but I might be a bad influence. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Yeah, yeah,
some of my old ways might come out. I start cracking jokes. As I started cracking beers, and so it's like
yeah.
I try to keep myself even from kind of going that direction. And then also I was homeless for a bit, and I stayed in a couple men's homes, and so now I like appreciate having a home and AC and a bed. So I try not
Hmm.
to really take that for granted.
Yeah,
And not that, like I said, it's not that there's anything wrong with linking up with folks, but it's like, pretty much every day I lay my head down in a bed, I'm like, oh man, this is so much better than the homeless shelter. So it's like,
yeah,
let me take advantage of this bed.
yeah, for sure.
Is that somebody flipping or something?
Yeah, and, it was somebody gliding in the air. They just landed behind us. I got him, and I'll get his teammate real quick. Got him.
What's like your video game background, your video game history?
Pretty much, just kind of like first-person shooter games. I was super into COD. Um, Back in school, like seventh grade, sixth grade, all that, and it was amazing. I love COD. I was in Modern Warfare, Warzone, Cold War, um, and I was in the Apex for a little bit. I like Apex. I think a lot of people hate on it.
I played a couple matches for the channel. It's not too bad. I mean, especially the fact that it's free. It's like,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know, it's pretty cool for being free. It's like discount Warzone.
yeah, yeah.
I feel like
I think
once
it's cool
Warzone took
if
off, they started making like just like Warzone type games.
yeah,
I remember playing Call of Duty like 20 years ago. Like
yeah,
Call of Duty 1, Call of Duty 2, and then having we had a PS2 back in the day, and then playing Star Wars Battlefront. Oh my gosh, that was like everything. And then Star Wars Battlefront 2, dude. My brother's dad and then my mom had got divorced, and so when we go visit. He had the PS2, and so he was like my favorite parent because he had video games, and
yeah.
like typical young dude. But but I ended up moving in with him from the homeless shelter, and
Hmm.
the PS2 didn't work, but I got a PS5, and I
Hey,
could play a couple of the games, or like just being it was like super throwback.
yeah.
I don't know if you ever played like some of the older school, like especially the old school Battlefronts.
Uh huh.
Dude, those.
Yeah, I didn't play those, but I used to play like the old Maddens, like the football games and
Yeah,
everything. I really like those.
I remember. I've played Madden, and it's not the
Um,
worst, but I'm not good at defense. Like
yeah,
anytime, I would always what's it called? I'd pick like two teams I'd be like the Cowboys and the Colts because of Peyton Manning, and then
yeah,
I I you know I just do like long passes and
uh
get a
huh,
touchdown, and then then I just switch to the other team for offense, and then just do that for like 4 or 5 times, and I get bored and stop playing. But defense,
yeah,
I'm really not into sports like that, so I can't like read defense to play it
uh huh,
in Madden. So
yeah, yeah,
it was just more fun, just Hail Mary passes and try to
yeah, yeah,
juke a couple guys and feel cool, and then all right, that's enough.
yeah, for sure. I used to play football when I was younger, so maybe that's why I liked it.
I played part of a season of flag football. I was too young. They wouldn't let when we moved up to Michigan. I was too young to play tackle.
Tackle.
so I had to play flag. And it wasn't. I mean, I wasn't like good, but it wasn't too bad. I what was funny is I'm not the most aggressive person.
Uh huh.
I'm more like an a hole with my words, but I remember sometimes it would get a little too rough, and I'm just not a confrontational person like that. So I wasn't
Mm,
like
yeah.
I probably wouldn't have lasted in tackle, and I've always been small and
Mm,
pretty frail. So yeah,
yeah.
it probably would have been bad. But what happened? So yeah, we moved. We had so I'm from Texas, lived a few other
Uh
places,
huh.
and we moved up to Michigan, right? And so obviously it's mad cold up there, and so we have a game. It's raining and it's cold, and so warm ups. We're doing push ups in the wet, cold rocks, and I just start like shaking. Like I have to have a towel over my hands because my hands are like hypothermia. Like it was bad. And so
Yeah.
my stepdad took me home. And we just never went back. Didn't even like
Mm.
finish the season.
Yeah.
We played a few seasons of soccer though. A few seasons of baseball. I was always afraid of the ball though. So
Yeah.
I played.
I played baseball a lot when I was younger. I was afraid of, uh at first too, but I mean I really got into it. I love baseball.
It's I think it's one of the more. I feel like it's a good game to play. I collected baseball cards for a little bit.
Yeah.
I was a Ichiro Suzuki fan. I don't know if you know who that is
I think so. I know the name.
from the Seattle Mariners.
Hmm.
But like I like that was like in the Albert Pujols days, Big Papa days.
Yeah.
Are you planning to go into the priesthood?
No, no, no.
Really?
That is not for me.
You like the
I
first?
actually, um, God willing, I'd want to be a monk.
I watched some of your interview with Truitt, and
Yeah,
he
yeah,
had said he said something like you're in and out of monasteries or something like that, and I was like, really? I wouldn't have expected that.
yeah. I try to go when I can. I actually just went this last Saturday, um, which is amazing.
No,
Yeah,
Holy Archangels.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I love it over there. I'm I've been able to build a little bit of a connection with the priests there. Papa Friend is one of them. Oh my goodness, I'm getting beamed. And there's, no, I'm gonna die. Um, yeah. Um, so just going over there. I think I've been around 10 times.
To Holy
So
Archangels.
yeah,
I mean, that's not a bad thing, especially being young. You know,
yeah,
better there than the club for sure.
yeah.
So you're not planning to get married or have some babies?
I mean, if God wills it, I used to always want to be a dad. I think I'd be a good dad. Like I would want to raise my kids playing sports. I'd want to raise them in the faith and everything. So I think I'd be a good dad, but I'm not dating anyone right now, and I'm not like seeking anything just because I used to be super lustful. So I'm like really hesitant of like going back.
Yeah.
So
No, I don't blame you.
um,
That's a hard.
yeah,
That's the same with myself, especially coming from the lifestyle that I used to have.
uh huh,
It's a hard. Like I was able to, kick the drinking, kick the smoking, kick the going out, but that other thing, that other, you know, that part of it, that's hard to kick.
yeah,
And it's good. And same with myself. That's one reason why I was like, I have to get married. Like I can't be out here in these streets with on no leash. Like I'm glad to have. Hey, second, but I'm glad to have a wife and just having a wife, and
Yeah.
attempting to be faithful like keeps me, from going the wrong direction. And
Amen.
even I don't know if you've read Truett got it for me, but it was on marriage and family by Saint John Chrysostom, and it was talking about how marriage is supposed to it what should like free you from um, like fornication, and it
Hmm.
protects from that. Um, and it even said it surprised me because it said that there's enough people in the world that you don't have to get married to procreate, and it says like we already have eternal life, so it's really not about like leaving like a lineage or leaving a name behind. That
Uh-huh.
it's much more for the individual than it is for anybody else, than it is for society. It's really more,
Yeah.
which was surprising because you would think, there are some people that say like, oh, everybody needs to get married, and that for one, that's not necessarily true.
Hmm. Yeah.
But of
Yeah, that's
course,
pretty cool. I talked to him about that once.
who did
About
talk to who?
I talked to Trude about
Oh,
that once, about like getting married to also kind of control yourself as well.
I'm trying to get him to get married ASAP. I know he's got a lady.
Yeah.
Now, like being on this side, like me and my wife, we moved pretty fast. We've literally only known each other a little over a year,
Uh
um,
huh.
and married and a baby. But we were
Yeah.
both kind of like okay with that, um,
Hmm.
especially and then on this side, because I knew like I said, coming from my lifestyle before, I can't date somebody for you know too long, because then lust starts and frustration starts. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
and then I don't have the same like what's it called? My thing was, are you not gonna get in the way of my relationship with God? Other than as long as you're not, all the like, what's your favorite color? What do you want to be when you grow up? All that kind of stuff, like the kind of, the things you figure out while you're dating. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not too interested in that. You know what I'm saying? Because it only matters so much. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you should get to know someone, but uh, really getting to know, I feel like you can get to know someone pretty quickly, and if you're a faithful person, your faith means something to you. You can tell whether or not that person's going to get in the way, and as long as you're not going to get in the way, then everything else kind of falls under that. That really establishing, not that the other person has to be this great Christian on the same level as you, but if they're willing to at least be around you. Some spouse, I've had a couple females who like try to get in the way, like they didn't want me to talk about God this way, or they didn't agree with ministry in a certain direction or whatever it was, and it was like, okay, you're like getting in the way, like you're gonna be a
Yeah.
problem. You're gonna be a problem with my faith walk, right? But then when I
Hmm.
when I met my wife, we had a literally by the end of the night of us texting, I was like, all right, I'm gonna marry her. Like she's it, and it was really just
Yeah.
because she wasn't really practicing. Neither one of us was Orthodox, and she wasn't really like practicing her faith at the time, but she was accepting of my faith, and I had tattoos on my face, so she kind of had a certain idea of the direction I was going in, and she was willing to not get in the way of that, like I said. So it was pretty. We were able to move pretty quickly, and not that it's been so easy. You start learning each other's quirks, and you kind of gotta figure that out. But you know,
Yeah.
but it's not like she's like, oh, you go to church too much, or you know,
Mhm.
let's do crack. Like, nah.
Yeah.
Or she's not telling me don't talk about God, don't talk about that was like, that's like for me, like obviously that would be like the biggest red flag, and she's not like
Hmm.
that.
Sure.
But what I was saying is I kind of like encourage the younger dudes, like, get married young, get married ASAP, like get married while you can, or not while you can, but get married before those temptations start, before you know even like some, I don't know how much, maybe like stuff you've heard, but even like there are like priests that really talk about it's not about like having a career. And I don't know, you've probably heard worldly people like, oh, I'll get married and settle down when my career's in this certain point, and kind of trying to teach against that. That's not
Yeah.
that really like getting married and start having kids sooner rather than later. It kind of gets that out the way. Not that you can't have a career and stuff with children and a family, but at least you already have that familial unit going. Because
Hmm.
the thing with chasing the career, it's like it never stops. You know what I'm saying? Like you one day you're trying to be vice president, and then you become vice president. You're trying to be senior vice president. Then you're trying to be this, and then they want you to relocate here, and then, so it's like if you don't really settle down and do the adult stuff, you all of a sudden you're 35 and still single, and it's like you have like nothing to show for it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Father. What's his name? No, it's. Oh my goodness, I am blanking. Oh my goodness, I'm blanking. But there's a priest on YouTube who's very popular who actually talked about him getting married with his wife like before they were like established in their careers, when they were like only had enough money to like share a coffee and everything. And he said
Yeah,
he loved it. It's great.
yeah,
And even though I'm not like dating anyone, if I were, whenever like I was thinking, like before I was Orthodox, before like monasticism was even a thought, I'd always told myself like getting married young is dope. Like experience your kids like while you're young enough to go out and play with them,
yeah.
to teach them everything, to do all that. I've always thought that was a good idea.
Yeah, looking back, at my own life, and obviously with the direction that it went in, and et cetera, et cetera, I look back and be like, dang, I should have got married young, should have had some kids young, and I mean, I wasn't Orthodox when I was young, or when I was like high school, middle school, but part of me is
Hmm.
like, I should have stayed in church and kind of lived that kind of boring Christian lifestyle that you kind
Yeah.
of that you don't want when you're young, because you want to shake and bake, you want to experience your youngness and all that. I look
Hmm.
back and like, damn, I should have, yeah, really just had like a boring life, got married at 18, 19, and I probably have 3 kids in a house by now, instead of kind of starting later in my life and having to go through some real stuff that I could have avoided. Similar to, like, I have a younger brother, and we have very different stories. He's Roman Catholic, so
Yeah.
not what I want. But he's 27 now, but he didn't. I'm sure he's had some drinks. I'm sure he's had some fun, but nothing on the level that I did, right? And
Yeah.
he's got him and his wife just had their baby too. Literally like a week before we had ours. He's got the house, the good vehicle, the riding lawnmower. Not that I'm envious of him or coveting his stuff, but he just has a different. You know what I'm saying? He's at a different kind of space
Yeah.
where there's like a certain kind of peace in his life, right? Or he avoided, like I said, a lot of the junk that I went through
Uh-huh.
by
Yeah.
staying chill, by kind of staying boring.
Hmm.
And so yeah, like I keep saying, I tell young folks all the time where I work with younger folks, in their early 20s, and they're doing their early 20s things, hitting the bars, and I'm like, yo, don't do it. I'm like, shut it down now. Start having them kids.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's nothing good at the end of that road.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I've thought about. I think I wondered myself if about being a monk. I mean, I can't now, but I wonder like what would that be like. Sometimes it interests me, kind of just like basically living in church, and you just kind of
Hmm. Yeah.
services and prayer and
Yeah.
etc. all the time.
Yeah. It's definitely like I've talked with like some of my other friends, and I feel like it is very over romanticized
Yes.
for the like normal Orthodox person. They just see they'll visit a monastery once or just see clips of it on YouTube and they're like, oh, I want to do that. That seems awesome, right? But
Yeah.
it's like it's physical work. You're building greenhouses. You're building churches, like huts, actual houses, and then it's just a harder spiritual battle than like just living as a normal person.
Yeah. I've even heard priests say that in certain ways, like for one, that being a man can be a monk even with like a children and family in the world, and
Mhm.
that
Yeah, yeah, I know what you
or
mean.
have like a monastic life or monastic lifestyle or mindset even in the
Hmm.
world, and also that technically the monks, not that they have it easier, but they have it simpler because it's all kind of laid out for them.
Uh huh.
Being in the monastery, but being in the world and have with all the temptations and stuff and passions, it's a I don't know if they say that it's a bigger battle, but it's like a whole other battle, and so that's kind of something that I keep with myself as well, and also like being amongst because I'm like not everyone in our kind of peer group is married, and I can tell
Hmm.
kind of how you're saying I can tell some of our peers they kind of romanticize the monk life like you're saying,
Yeah.
and they see but not understanding that for one it's not for everybody, but also you can that there's also a what's the phrase like there's a beauty in the normal life as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like a lot of people think like once you get into the Orthodox Church, it's either like you have to be a priest or you have to be a monk. Like you have to do like one of those things with your life. When like in reality, it's beautiful to just be a family man
Yeah.
and live out your faith and raise and surround people by that. And I mean, it's beautiful to do all those. Everybody doesn't need to have a crazy calling.
Yeah. Some of I mean I wish some of the guys would like I guess maybe more focus on going in that direction of being a husband and kind of preparing themselves for that
Hmm.
instead of kind of like you're saying kind of romanticizing uh, the monk being a monk. I wouldn't say
Yeah.
like you said it's just I think it's the maybe the title or the idea of it.
Hmm.
Oh, that they're like,
Yeah.
oh, well, like if I were a monk, I would. I feel like it's there's some pride in it, and
Yeah.
I try not to
Definitely.
engage in it too much myself. I don't watch too many monks or monastic stuff. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm more. I'm like, how do I be a better dad? That's kind of my
Yeah.
thing. And even
Yeah.
having been a dad for less than a month, it's already you need prayer and you need uh, what do they say? It takes a village. It does. Like it definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Yeah. I feel like it definitely is. What's the word? Not zeal, but like people come into Orthodoxy and they only see the good stuff. They haven't been through temptation like really at that point.
Yeah.
So everything seems good to them, like being a priest, being a monk, being everything. Um, when like they're all great things, but like once they first get hit with like um, getting disciplined maybe by like their spiritual father, or just having to like humble themselves before God. They might like have to reevaluate everything.
Yeah. No, it seems like, and this might be, a bit of a controversial thing to say. I'm not like, I mean, I read the lives of the saints for sure, and I know some saints, and I made videos on saints, but I'm not like
Mhm.
that's not like my orthodox hobby, right?
Mhm.
Uh, of the lives of the saints. But with other like some of the peers, there seems to be like also like a romanticizing of that, whereas like this, like, oh, this saint, he floated when he prayed, so I need to do that, or that's my goal, right? Or this saint,
Yeah.
this saint didn't eat for 6 months, so I need to do that, that's my goal. And it's like,
Mhm.
that's not everybody's calling, you know what I'm saying? To me, it seemed like, yes, we should have some goals and move forward, pray more, fast more, pray deeper, etc. More and more towards hesychasm, silence, quietness, quiet spirit, all of those things. But when you're trying to be like somebody else, or you're trying to kind of um, setting like an unrealistic goal, or this, I'm sure they say or the scriptures say that emulation, trying to be something or trying to be somebody, is also a work of the flesh, and
Mhm.
that's something I try to avoid. Um,
Yeah.
and I can kind of see it amongst the peers
Mhm.
of trying to be a saint, right? Instead of more so focusing on Christ, which would therefore lead them towards being a saint. Like
Yeah.
it's a like
I see what you.
it's like they pivoted away instead of kind of staying focused. And not that I'm perfect, right? I'm not the best faster. I'm still trying to tackle this food thing.
Mhm.
But it's like a continue. Like I've been cutting out my sodiums and my sugars. I've been really trying to. I love salty stuff. Um, so yeah, I'm trying to. That's like my latest tackle.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
What would you say? I mean, you don't have to give me all your business, but what would you say is one of your struggles? Um, Whether it's fasting, scriptures, or uh,
I think.
daily prayers.
Yeah, I think the things I struggle with the most are letting my mind race too much, like going on one topic that's not, Christ related, and then that leading me on, and that leading me on, and then I'm just like, oh my gosh, and then I feel so bad, and then like I come into prayer, and I'm like, oh, Lord, have mercy on me for letting my mind race this much,
Yeah.
and I would say that, and like assuming and judging others
Say
are
yeah.
probably two things I fall back into the most.
No, I'm gonna say I'm real bad. I recently, because I've been going to liturgy by myself, while my wife stays home.
Mhm.
But I started standing at the front in the first couple
Uh,
rows, so that way I can't see as many people, because
yeah,
if
yeah,
I'm too
yeah,
far in the back, I start looking at everybody, judging everybody. Oh, that guy,
yeah,
he didn't do the cross, or he's not paying
yeah.
attention. He touched his phone. How dare he, right? And so
Yeah,
it's
I've done
like
that exact
I'm like,
exact same stuff.
obviously that's not good. So if I move forward, where I can only see so many people, or I really can only see the priest, it
Mhm.
keeps me from being distracted less. And I've been
Yeah,
watching.
definitely.
Do you know Father? It's Felipe Balangit. He's a Filipino. I think he's a hieromonk. I don't know if you know who he is.
Is him in person or is he
No, no.
online?
I just been seeing him online. But
I might have seen him, but I can't remember right now.
he's what's it called? Like I said, a Filipino guy. Banjit. but I've been watching his. He has a, what's it called? Like a teaching on the liturgy, where he just like goes through it, kind of and different stuff, and he
Mhm.
talks. Excuse me. He talks a lot about that. Is staying focused when the liturgy,
Yeah.
not looking around, and even he gave a big one. He said, um, he was like, you know, and I he says, and don't worry about this bishop is doing this and this priest is doing
Mhm.
that, and you know what I'm saying, and he's a heretic and he's fornicating this and that. He says our duty.
Yeah.
He says our duty is to pray, and
Yeah.
he said you don't think the Holy Spirit knows that this priest or this bishop is doing this thing and they're not going to repent? And I was like, wow, that's big. That's really good.
Yeah.
To think, I never thought about that. You think the Holy Spirit doesn't know these things? And so that was a big one for me in the last couple months. Is God knows. Trust me,
Yeah.
God knows about this and that. There's no,
Yeah.
I don't really need a trip, and so that I kind of scale myself back from judging and stuff like that.
Yeah. One. I've never really been into church politics, like the archbishops and these like popular bishops or heretics. I've never really got into that.
Yeah,
Luckily, um, like obviously we should kind of like be aware
yeah,
of what's going on and everything, but I've never been into that, which is probably a good thing
yeah,
because it's not like me telling a friend, oh, you know what this archbishop did, like that's not going to solve the problem.
yeah.
So
No, it was funny because I start, you know, I barely know anything about Orthodoxy, and then I come in and I'm at a Greek parish, and then
uh
I hear that there's issues with the Greek patriarch and the Russian patriarch and all this and that. And I'm
mhm.
like, what? I was like, I don't even know what Orthodoxy is. And there's this whole drama, this whole politics thing. And I had to ask, I asked Father Thomas about it. I asked another priest just in a Discord. And I was like, do I need to worry about this? I was like, what's up? I was like, I don't have enough knowledge to even know like what's going on. And they're basically like, no, like that's kind of above, you know, the layman pay grade.
Yeah.
But I thought it was fun. It was like a short period of frustration. I was like, dude, I was like, come on, Jesus, like, how you gonna throw me into this the middle of this drama? And I didn't want to leave necessarily leave the Greek church because I don't even, like I said, for one, I don't even know what's going on, and then, you know, I got to drag my wife, you know, into this whole other church or whatever, and she probably doesn't even know what's going on, and so it was just it was a bit stressful for a little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
But we ended up staying put. I'm glad that we did. Um, we've had a lot.
Hmm.
We've been blessed a lot when it comes to just stuff with the child for our child, like a lot of diapers, a lot of clothes, you know, a lot of gift cards, and that's such a blessing to get or just to have. And I would hate
Yeah.
for us to have missed out on that.
Yeah. Yeah. Saint Sophia's group seems amazing.
I guess we'll just run this one last game,
All
and
right.
then I'll let you go. Oh snap! Let me I should be able. I don't know if it's too late for you. I could come. Or what are you doing tomorrow?
I should be free tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah, we can text and
Okay.
I'll bring it if you want to do that.
Okay. What do you? I didn't ask you. What do you do? You work
Right now, no, I've just been studying. I'm doing a fire academy in January.
for like to be a fireman?
Yeah.
Dude, that's legit. For
Thank you.
are you gonna get the? Are you gonna have the fireman stash?
I'm trying. Yeah. Yeah, I've been trying to grow out a goatee for a second. I don't think I don't know, my family has like facial hair, but I've never had like a lot. But yeah, I'm trying.
I I started growing out my beard a couple years ago, and
Hmm.
then but I would like trim it and you know, shape it up or whatever. But recently I was like, you know what? I think I'm gonna do the Orthodox thing and just like
Just not shave it.
yeah, yeah, just see how that how that works out. But I told my wife, I was like, I told her that I was like, I think I'm gonna do the Orthodox thing and just let it grow. And she was all, but you're gonna trim it, right? And I just kind of, I didn't really say anything. I was like, we'll see how it goes. I think that's I've
Yeah.
heard. I don't know if you've heard like those criticisms that they say like, okay, well, like we'll run another game because that one was kind of quick, but
Okay.
the criticism that they say like orthodoxy is this like kind of like fake masculinity or men are trying to be they're trying to be masculine by being orthodox because of the beards and stuff, and I think
Yeah.
that's pretty funny. I never like I didn't even notice that like when I coming into orthodoxy that about the beards and priests and stuff like that was so not even on my radar.
Yeah, it wasn't on mine. I haven't really heard that much criticism about it. But I mean, I think it's dope
Yeah,
seeing priests with long beards and everything. Especially like when you go to the monastery and you see the monks with like beards like to the end of their chest, just all gray. It's
yeah.
like, wow, that's so sick.
It would be nice. I don't think I probably won't get that far, but it probably won't be
Yeah.
that low. But it would be nice. It would be dope. That's pretty masculine. What have you been in? Have you gotten into the? Have you spent time in like the debate world, the kind of Jay
I
Dyer
I
apologetics?
used to,
Yeah,
yeah. And I whenever I was like first like getting into orthodoxy, it was like I stopped watching him a little after I became a catechumen. But I had enjoyed a lot of his content because I mean he was proving the points right and everything.
yeah,
So of course you're gonna be like, oh hell yeah, this dude's like he just proved this Catholic wrong.
yeah.
But
It activates that dude kind of conquering, step on your
yeah,
enemies kind of thing. Yeah,
yeah. But now I don't watch him or any apologetic videos, just because I feel like it's more a sense of pride.
yeah,
Like, oh, I proved this point right. Like, if you have a question, that's a great to ask. Like, oh, why does the filioque? Why does the reverence with the Eucharist? Why does all this differ? Why does it matter? That's great.
yeah.
But when it's just people come in debating and then um, it doesn't do anything for either party.
Yeah. No, I found myself like itching for debates, like getting in discords and chats and like starting stuff and then getting myself like getting all fired up and
Mhm.
getting mad. And I was like, you know what? This is not okay. Like it's like this was disturbing my spirit. I'm getting angry. I could like you could like feel I could like feel it in my stomach, like this kind of like just
Yeah.
the dog in me or whatever it was. And so I was like, but
Yeah.
like not, but like in a negative way, right? And I was like, I need to. So I cut back on like watching debates. And I kind of watched all the ones I feel like I needed to watch, right, to get all the kind of
Yeah.
answers. Because that's kind of how it was at first. Is you're just getting all these, you're getting like a crash course. That's why I enjoyed it at first. Wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was like, this is it's leading me to like my old wannabe gangster ways. I'm becoming that man again. So I was like, no, I need to really, you know, chill out, focus more on prayers and
Yeah.
pursuing a form of hesychasm. Um,
Yeah. I think it's like there is like somewhat of a place for it. Like a lot of inquirers are really into that stuff, but the biggest thing is once you start living it, you're not gonna want it. You
yeah.
know?
What have been? I guess the last thing I'll ask is what has been some of your like your hangups on orthodoxy or some of the things that you were like I don't know about this or like you needed clarification or like you didn't want to be
Oh,
orthodox at first because of this thing.
yeah. Well, like I said, I came from being a Jehovah's Witness, so everything at first, I was like, "What is going on?" But then researching it, obviously, I'm planning on getting baptized. I love it, but I would say some stuff that I still don't fully understand would probably be maybe just like some traditions. Like I feel like I have an idea of some of them. Like one of them is like in the great entrance at St. Anthony's. Father David walks around holding the chalice and everyone grabs his robe.
Yeah.
And like I understand in a way. I heard it compared to the story in the gospel where the woman with a blood problem grabbed Jesus's robe and she was healed.
Yeah.
And I know that's like the same reason we get a blessing from him. So it's not really a hang up. It's just not something I would be able to greatly explain to other people.
Yeah. That's what
Yeah.
I'm like the opposite. That was something. Once I saw it, I was like, oh, I love that, and I was like, now I
Yeah.
don't always get to do it, but I remember one time there's it got because we stream it's recorded. I actually kind of
Uh-huh.
like reached around my wife, and like you could kind of see it on the video that I kind of like
Yeah.
chested her out of the way, and it's funny. Like she made fun of me for a little bit of time. And but
Yeah.
I've
No,
heard the
I definitely like I do it. And like I understand like the reasoning, like I said, but it's just not something I'd be able to explain great to other people.
yeah. I don't. It's a tough thing to like explain. I'm not the. I don't really super put it out there. A lot of times, like I keep these like brochures in my bag, and so like at work,
Yeah.
I try to just give them a brochure and like just go do some googling. You know what I'm saying? That
Uh-huh.
way, you can kind of figure it out on your own. Because for
Mhm.
one, because even my wife, she had the same experience. She was like talking to somebody, and she found it hard to like, because of course as Orthodox, we think everybody else is wrong, right? But
Yeah.
you can't say that because people aren't gonna accept it, and so
Uh-huh.
it's a difficult thing to explain. And my wife was saying the same thing because she that's kind of what she wanted to. I think the person was a Catholic and she wanted to be like, you're wrong, we're right, but you can't do that.
Mhm.
So that's something. And
Yeah.
it took me
Yeah.
a while to get into icons
Really.
and the intercessions of the saints and the
Yeah, that
Theotokos.
was and honestly like on a time period probably didn't take actually yeah, intercession of saints took me a minute. Um because I had asked Father David about it and he explained it to me and then someone gifted me like a little prayer book, like not, the big Jordanville one, but like kind of one half the size for newer people.
Yeah,
And I would just skip the prayers to the Theotokos, to the Guardian. I would just skip those.
yeah. It took
So,
me. It took a while. I had to read some things, and then the icons. I want to say I had got some. No, I didn't get any. I was like, I remember specifically saying I can't see myself kissing icons, bowing down to icons. But then I did my interview with Truitt, and he got me a small one. He got me
mhm.
the harrowing of Hades, and I was like,
Yeah,
and
that's a
I
good
told him
one.
I was like, this was like the perfect icon to get me as my first because of
Mhm.
the story and its Christ. Because for me, it was like I can accept ones of Christ, but maybe the saints and that they maybe that's a little bit more difficult. But the one he got me, I was like, this is perfect, and that was the one that kind of started my my journey. I have a small one.
This is this is the first one I got
Yeah,
from the church.
from St.
Just well,
Anthony's.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I have a. Let me turn the. Um,
Surprisingly, icons didn't like. I got a few from the church, but it did take me a while to venerate them.
you can see, yeah, I have a Holy Trinity right there that I got from the church, and then that's just a paper one of the
Uh huh.
Theotokos, and that's the creed, and that's just a cross that I got from my
Yeah.
mother-in-law. But we do have. I'll just send you a picture of my little icon wall in the room. I got
Mm-hmm.
my wife's Saint Irene of Crissa Valentu. I found a website where they make puzzles out of icons, and so
That's dope. Yeah.
I was like, I know. I was like, I felt like, my wife, of course, I love her, but of course, we're on, like, we're on different paces when it comes to Orthodox thing. And so I was like, so I was going, and she actually pointed out that they had puzzles. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get a puzzle for her saint. So that way she can kind of, instead of just getting it, sticking it on the wall, it kind of, there's a little more
Yeah. That's
interaction
dope.
with it.
Yeah.
But it's interesting though. When I came into Orthodoxy, I knew with the saints and the Virgin Mary and the icons, I'm gonna have to accept it. It comes with it,
Yeah.
even though I don't understand it, even though I need to learn about it, even though I'm not really gonna do everything that everybody else is doing. It comes with it. You know what I'm saying? So it was a
Mhm.
while before I did the cross. So like, I need to learn about the cross before I do it. You know what I'm saying? I need to learn about the icons before I venerate them. But
Yeah.
I was like, and it's also everything I didn't like about Roman Catholicism before, because I was like anti-Catholic before, like, oh,
Yeah.
they worship Mary and they do the cross things and it's not
Mhm.
biblical and this and that. And then you come into Orthodoxy and it's like similar. I was like, okay, but I have to accept it and I'm gonna have to learn it
Yeah.
because it's not going anywhere, and I can't. I'm not gonna be anything else. So I kind of let God, let Christ, let the church kind of teach me these things. So now
Mhm.
I can do them, and I'm not the most intercession of the saints guy or the most venerated icons guy, but now I can do it more in truth because I learned about it and I connected with it versus I do think plenty of folks they just do it because it's what you're supposed to do, and there's like a pride in
Yeah.
it. There's like a pride in it. All my icons, and I venerate. I ask the intercession of every. I know every saint from here to there, and I can ask their intercession.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, but are you really doing it in truth and love and connecting with it?
Yeah. Definitely.
Um, okay, so where I guess sign off. Where can the people find you? You know what I'm saying? And do you have any content at all?
Um. So my Instagram and my TikTok are RIVER_BLU_G, River Blue G, and
And where
I
does
don't
that? Where
post
does where
YouTube
does
videos or
where
anything.
does River Blue G come
Hmm?
from?
River's my middle name, Blue's my middle name, G's the initial of my last name.
Is it this Geissenschlag?
Yeah.
That's your real last name? Are
Yeah.
you? I'm assuming that's European,
German.
German. That's pretty.
Yeah.
Geissenschlag. Is there a meaning
Yeah.
behind that?
Huh?
Is there a meaning behind that?
It means, so you know how people are like sheep herder,
Yeah.
right? Giesenslaw means a geese herder. So like
Really?
with just geese and stuff, yeah.
Do you have any history with gooses?
I don't, but my family's obviously German.
Are your
So
are your parents? Do they have any history with geese?
uh I think it was in my great grandparents that was more German. So they probably do.
That's
I don't
pretty
know
cool.
though.
Can I call you the geese man?
You can't, yeah.
Okay. Well, so you said you gave your Instagram. You said no content. Anything else you want to share with the people?
Um I was gonna say I don't make like YouTube videos, but if you look up my TikTok in my bio, I have my second account. I post videos on my second account, but they're not like debating videos. It's just videos of like churches and everything. But
And what's
they do
the?
better than at what's up?
Would you say they do better? Like it's a popping channel.
Uh, if you would call it that. One of my videos has like 70,000 views.
Hey, so
Um,
make sure you post
I
this. You know
think
what I'm saying? Shout your boy
yeah, I
out.
think total. I think total. I have like 40 something thousand likes on it.
That's what's up. And so what's you said that was TikTok?
Yeah, it's if you look up River Blue G on my bio, it has my second account, and that's where I post it.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. Well, I appreciate you coming on. I guess I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll see you around, my brother,
yeah,
the geese
for
man.
sure. Yes.